All right, welcome to day 10 of Tales from a Gear Addict podcast. Quick thoughts. Today, I was just looking at a few of my instruments and I thought it would be fun to talk about the history of the jazz bass. Well, it's got a long storied past. It's actually not terribly too crazy, but it's just a cool story about how my wife gifted me a jazz bass a long time ago. So, as some of you might have heard from previous podcasts and stuff, that I used to work at Guitar Center as well as Apple, but Guitar Center was my home for 4 years in various capacities: drum department, accessories manager, assistant manager. I was there for a long time. 4 years is a long time in retail, and I think it was probably one of the funnest years as a musician because you're able to be around gear 24/7. I mean, honestly, I think that's what kickstarted this whole obsession. So when I'm able to be around gear, talk about it, sell it, make money off of it, I mean, it covers all the bases, right? So had fun there. Actually got the job 2010. Yeah, 2010, and I was able to get the job thanks to my future Apple coworkers, Jason Brady and Dave Saunders. Well, Dave came in later, but Jason was there. He actually interviewed me, made me sell a drum kit. I'll never forget that, Jason. Right on the spot. I think I did pretty terribly, but he liked me anyway, so that was pretty fun. So we started in 2010, and I worked there for about a year or so, maybe a year and a half in the drum department, and had a lot of fun time. Chase Ely, shout out to you, buddy. He was the DM, the department manager, the entire time, and it was a really fun time. You get to see all the cool new gear come in. You get to see, sometimes even first before the rest of like the consumer base sees it. You get it, stuff that comes in early, which is cool. But we did that. I sold drums for a bit. Love me some DW drums. I think they're probably one of my, not probably, my top three drum brands. I think if I can get a custom DW kit, it would probably be a dream come true. I've been wanting one for a long time, so maybe we can make that happen. We'll see. But I started picking up guitar. I picked up guitar while I was, still playing it while I was there. I'd gotten a Siegel S6 acoustic, and that's where kind of after I had my Joe Satriani signature Ibanez, the JS1000 in black pearl with super cool. There's like a trem. There's a super cool black pearl paint job. One of my favorites for sure. I still have it to this day. It's one of my crazy guitars. So yeah, Steve Stewart, another good friend of mine, became sales manager. He moved from Marietta. Didn't know this guy, and then this wackadoodle bass player comes in and tries to be the sales manager of our store, and it was funny. So I befriended him pretty quickly. He's a really rad guy, and part of the reason I even wanted to do this podcast in the first place. So thank you, Steve. But he became sales manager, and he's a bass player through and through. That guy doesn't even mess with guitar. He's literally just trying to hone his craft, and he's a really great bass player. So one day, I just got on these kicks. Okay, side note, sorry. Do any of you guys ever just randomly say, I need this, right? And you start fantasizing about everything that goes along with that instrument. Like for me, it was bass, right? So being a Guitar Center employee, I was privy to cost and how much things would really cost me as an employee. And I'd go day in and day out looking at bass rigs, Mark bass, going to do a Mesa, or do a power amp with a preamp, all these different things. Do line 6, is that even good? Or, explore all my options. And I was super settled. I was going to get a Mark bass, Jeff Berlin combo. I think it's a 112, and a Fender jazz bass. I really wanted something. And I think I found it because Steve had showed me this guitar, this bass, this one exactly, actually. They came in. This is a vintage modified jazz bass with two of their Seymour Duncan design pickups. You got a volume and then tone for two, which is really rad. 4-string, Squier. Now, I will say, being a Squier, this thing plays really well, and everyone that has played it since, including myself, love it. So he put it in my hands, and he was like, you need to check this out. Now, what's crazy, I don't want to see if I can even show you guys, is this bass has some figuring on it. If you can see it in the light there, it's hard to explain. If you can't see it, if you can't see the flame in person, I mean, I'll see if I can get some pictures of it and post it. But this looks like an American standard or some sort of American model base body, and they just happen to slap a Squier neck on there. And I have seen this color in the vintage modified series since, and I still cannot find one that comes even close to the flame of this guitar. So he showed it to me, put it in my hands. Me being a novice, right? I have no idea. I don't thump, slap, pick. And I don't even know what I was doing. I was just playing some notes, but I wanted to learn. So I knew I needed to have something like this. And basically, I put it down. I was, okay, cool. You know, it's only like $300, brand new. And with my cost, it'd be like less than $200 with a case and the pro coverage, because even though I worked there and saw some pretty bad horror stories with pro coverage and how they, you know, kind of just screwed people over, for all intents and purposes, for the amount of discount I got, it might as well put it on there. So I went home, showed my then 2012, 2011, my then girlfriend. I don't even think we were married yet, and showed it to her. I'm like, babe, I gotta have this bass. She's like, why do you need a bass guitar? I'm like, because I do. She's like, you already have 3 guitars. I have 8 now. So I just could try to convince her. I was like, I need to buy this. Luckily enough, or I guess coincidentally enough, around the time of my birthday is when this was all happening, right? He's like, dude, Steve was like, oh, bro, you got to buy this. Get this guitar. It's a steal. Plays great on the body. I mean, you can't find any flame like that on a Squier. And so I had to have it. Had to have it. I was trying to find a way to save some pennies. And, you know, being a music store employee, you don't make a ton of money. And I'm a good salesman, but I wasn't the best. So trying to rely on commission checks was shoddy at best. Plus, having a newborn wasn't the easiest thing to do when you're trying to, you know, live on your own at 20, 21 years old, something like that. And yeah, so I just day after day was trying to find a way to pinch pennies and try and save up. So what's funny enough, around the time my birthday comes, I didn't even think of anything of this. The bass disappears. I don't see it in the store. And Steve tells me, oh man, it's sold. I don't even know. I was like, man, I'm so upset because I really wanted to buy this bass. But he was just so insistent. He was like, "Hi, man, it just sold." I'm like, "Let me see who bought this thing." And he wouldn't let me look up the ticket. I remember that because as an employee, you can look up sales tickets and stuff. And he would not let me look it up. And I don't know. I just didn't think anything. I was like, "All right, whatever. You're a sales manager, fine. That's cool." But yeah, I was just super bummed because I really wanted this bass guitar, man. And I couldn't shake that I was upset. I don't know. It was just a bass guitar. It's just a guitar. It's just a piece of gear. More will come, but I was really set on the fact that I wanted this bass. So all this kind of, I'd go home, some days pass, whatever it was, and my birthday comes. And honestly, as I'm recalling this, I don't remember exactly how she presented the bass to me. It might have been something like this. We've done this before where she'll say, oh, something's in the car. My purse is in the car. Can you go get it? Or, hey, I need you to run to the store. Can you go grab something for me? And I begrudgingly always like, oh, fine, I'll go check in the car. She's done this with a flat screen, an LCD TV that we bought, I think twice actually. A couple other things as well, like just various items throughout the years. Shoes, I think, or something. But I believe that's how she presented it. She's like, oh, go get something from the car. And I saw a case in the back seat. It was a Roadrunner case. And I'm like, what is that? I mean, for me, being a gear salesman at Guitar Center, I knew exactly what was in that case because I know exactly how big bass cases are. So I ripped the case out of the car. I run upstairs. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I have a picture on my my first Instagram account of me holding the guitar. And I got it all on. I got the strap. She got a whole strap for me and everything. And it was just right there. And, you know, she's like, surprise, happy birthday. I was like flipping out because I was so upset that I didn't get this bass. And then lo and behold, she surprised me with the bass. It was probably one of the cooler surprises. I mean, she doesn't, bless her heart, but she doesn't surprise me with gear very often. So it's more of an addiction that I have to own and purchase. But yeah, this bass, it plays great. And the reason I was thinking about it actually was because I've got a friend, Don Lauder. I'll link his guitar business in San Diego. The dude's amazing. He's done tech work for some big bands, does a really, really good setup, and charges really, really fair pricing. But he actually is going to put some Nordstrand pickups. They are, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. They are some sort of 4-string jazz set that I think is 60s wound. I'll have to go over what that means when I find out. But Basically, I'm looking for more of an aggressive growl, more body, more warmth, just more bite. I just want a thicker sounding pickup because the ones that come in here are okay, but they're not great as any stock pickup would be. But I was thinking about doing this episode because this is the first modification that I'll have done to this bass. I've had it for 8 years or so, and I've never done any modifications other than string changes. I think I've changed the strings on it 4 times maybe. Right now, I think a 4-string D'Addario set is on there. I'm not sure what gauges, maybe like 50 to 105 or something like that. But yeah, I'm super excited that Don's gonna be hooking this bass up with some new pickups. I will do a video on it because, like I said, it's the first and only modification that I have done to this bass. Now, future guest Ernie LeDuc is coming on soon, and he's the bass. The custom bass master, right? He's got all these custom handmade basses, Warmoth basses, old jazz bodies with all basically gutted and all new parts and pickups and preamps and wood pick guards, like the whole 9 yards. And that's actually where I got the pickups off of. So he was like, "Oh, bro, I got this set laying around. I was actually planning on selling it, but now that you want it, let's hook you up." So thanks to Ernie for giving me these pickups, and I'm excited to put them in the bass. But yeah, guys, the story of the jazz bass. I'll never get rid of this. I don't care how many instruments I have. I don't care how many basses I have. I will never get rid of this guitar. And I honestly might put a different neck on it, like a Warmoth neck. But honestly, the Warmoth prices for these necks are more than the guitar even costs, and almost double the price that the guitar costs. So maybe not. We'll see. All right. Well, I'm back. Ran out of batteries. That was crazy. But as I was saying, not going to get rid of this bass, might change some parts, but overall it is a guitar that I will keep till the end of my days. So much love and appreciation to my wife for gifting me something that I'll never get rid of, aside from my children. Well, that wraps up today's episode, guys. I'm so thankful for all of you that are listening, that are subscribing. We're now fresh on Apple Podcasts, so please, please, please go subscribe to that. I might be doing a giveaway here pretty soon. We just hit 80 followers on Instagram, so I'm super excited about that, and I'm going to keep posting content there. Got a Facebook page at TFGA Podcast. So I appreciate everybody. Love you all, and I will talk to you again tomorrow for day 11.